Hello my dear friends, you're on the Military Summary channel, and today we will discuss the situation in Ukraine on the 9th of March. Usually I start my video from the situation in Odessa, but today we will skip this region because there is no changes there. There was no events, no clashes, and nothing which can describe the situation in this region. We will start from the Nikolaev. Nikolaev is under the total Russian siege. If you see, there is battles was on the north of the city, and this city is totally blocked on the Pesky town and on the east in the town Snigirivka. This city is totally blocked from the big land from the east Ukraine. There is only one road from Nikolaev which leads to the north and to the central part of Ukraine, and this road is under total Russian fire control. Today we heard a lot of news from the Voznесensks. There was a lot of battles there, a lot of clashes, and this city is not controlled by any of the parties. The clashes there are still continuing. Let's move next to the south region. Today in the south region there was a meeting and strike in the Energodar. This is the town which located near the nuclear station. And the people there today went on the meeting, on the strike against the Russian forces. Not the whole, as I told you in my previous video, not the total population of this town. They support the Ukrainians. I think that around 50-50, maybe less, maybe more, but the population of this town is split in two parts. Some of them support Russian and some people support Ukrainians. Let's move next to the east side. We will continue with Mariupol. Mariupol now is a very big tragedy of Ukrainian campaign. There are a lot of clashes, a lot of bad news from this town, a lot of civilians are under artillery strike from both sides. Today there was city Mangush, it was taken by Russian forces. And Russians are already in this town, and they're doing their cleanup operation. They're attacking from every side of this town, and Ukrainians, they lose their position step by step. The only thing that I want to tell about these battles, clashes in this town, that Ukrainians, they use the civilians' buildings as the places where they doing their attack and their guard position. For example, today there was a video in open source when taken from the helicopter that Ukrainian forces, they use Enlau system on the top of the building, civilian building, and of course Russians, they to protect their forces, of course they need to destroy this point, and they could use their artillery against this position, which of course may lead to damage the civilians. But there was no information from official Russian sources about any damages from Russian forces to civilians in this town. Let's move to the north. Now we are on the south border of the Donbas boiler. Town by town, Russians and Donbas forces taking town by town all the territory on the bottom of this boiler. As far as you can see, all these cities were taken today, during the day. All these cities. Ukrainian forces, they step back every day. And it's very dangerous position on the south of this front line. Also, I want to add that there are two big sieges, Ukrainian sieges, on this front line. One of them is in the town Orekhov-Preobrazhenka, and the second one is in the Gulyai-Polye. This is two very important towns, because these towns, they control these two roads, which connects the road from Zaporozhye to this Donbas army. And if these roads will be cut off, these forces and this army will be surrounded, and there would be no chances to leave this place with armor and as a regular army. When they want to step back, there will be no chances. They will be cut off from the big land, and we will see more and more losses from the Ukrainian side if it will happen, if it happens. Also, there are a lot of problems. Ukrainian forces has a lot of problems on the north of this Donbas boiler. As far as you can see, Russians has took today also few towns in this region, and they tried to surround the Ukrainian forces from Rubizhnoye and Severodonetsk into small boiler. I don't know the exact quantity of army in this region, but I think that there should be like few thousand, and soon, very soon, these few thousand might be surrounded by Russian forces. And if it happens, it will cause a lot of damage to Ukrainian army. Also, I want to point that there was a very important battle in the city Izum. This is a pretty big town. I think that there are around 50,000 people there, or something like this. And this town controls 3 roads, which leads to different parts of Ukraine: south, west, east, south, west, central. And today, I think I got information from open source that Russian control almost all town, more than 50%. And there are just few streets, few places where you can find Ukrainian army. To tell the truth, if you ask me, I would say that this town is under Russian control. Of course, it's very big damage and it's very big loss for Ukrainian forces, because this town opens a lot of variants to attack Ukrainian forces from the back. And of course you know that it's not very good when enemy attack you from the back. And Ukrainian forces, they decided to do a first counter-strike, I heard from Ukrainians during this campaign. And they attack from using the Kharkiv army, forces, and they attacked the Verbovka. But their attack wasn't success. Russians, they hold this position and they destroyed the Ukrainian forces which tried to attack this town. And they got some losses, and they were forced to leave this town and move back to Kharkiv. There are no more changes in Kharkiv. Only the position fighting, and no storm, and nothing like this. There were nothing like this, like big fight battles or clashes. Now we're moving to the north. Today north was pretty silent, pretty calm. Just regular battles, fightings, without any surprises from both sides. Chernigov is still under total Russian bloc, and there is no way to leave the town and to cut this blockade and to get into the Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. The capital of Ukraine is blocked and surrounded from the north and from the east. There are still few roads, safe roads, which people and civilians from Kiev can use to leave the city. And as far as you know, Russian forces, they announce almost every day, not like almost every day, but every day they announce about the green roads, giving possibility to civilians to evacuate from these hot towns and hot cities from the battlefields. And as far as I know from the Russian official sources, that Ukrainian Nazi forces, they block civilians from evacuating. Almost a big catastrophe we can see in the Gostomel, Bucha, and Irpin. This place is not even, it was a big town, but now I can't call this place a town or city. It's ruins, a lot of ruins. As far as I know, almost 5,000 people managed to leave this place and evacuate from here. Also, today is the 9th of March, and tomorrow there is meeting between negotiation between the foreign minister of Russian Federation and Ukraine. Let's hope that tomorrow the war will ends, and with diplomacy way they will find another solution to solve all issues and all problems between these two countries. Thank you very much for your listening. Subscribe my channel, and tomorrow we will discuss the situation in Ukraine on the 10th of March.